Even though we're only a couple of days into June and companies could change their minds whenever they wanted, a lot of them are not posting for Pride. They're not changing their profile pictures, they're not changing their banners, and a lot of people feel like maybe these companies are finally realizing that virtue signaling hasn't worked for them the past several years. But now Ubisoft has actually done a complete 180 in an attempt to win people back because they have acknowledged that June is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, even though they have not mentioned Pride. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, over the past couple of years, Ubisoft has been going through a tough time, and the past 12 months has been extremely rough for them. They have had a string of failures, and it's really no surprise to see that they're trying to win people back. Skull and Bones was a quadruple A failure, X Defiant is just shutting down, and that was only up for about a year to a year and a half. Star Wars Outlaws came out, was a flop, even though they put the most amount of money they ever had towards that game's marketing budget. It didn't work. And then, of course, Assassin's Creed Shadows launched at the beginning of 2025, and it wasn't the spectacular hit they thought it was going to be. So they need as many wins as possible. And now, in a notable departure from the past few years, Ubisoft has kicked off the month of June by spotlighting Men's Mental Health Awareness Month with no public mention of Pride across its major brand accounts. And this is absolutely crazy, right? Because first of all, a lot of companies have focused very heavily on promoting Pride over the past couple of years. They truly believed at some point that it was going to bring in a brand new audience, especially in the gaming industry and entertainment in general. It's like a lot of these companies thought we can get more viewers and more supporters if we just make a couple of simple posts, if we have one of our interns change our profile picture to an obnoxious rainbow for 30 days. It will work out well, and that hasn't happened. I think a lot of companies are now coming to the realization that this is not a financially viable strategy for them at this point, and at the end of the day, that's all this was about, was trying to make more money. And I don't blame companies for trying to find ways to appeal to new customers and to their existing customer base and trying to make money, because that's what companies should be doing. But we've been calling them out on their virtue signaling for years at this point, and they've only made themselves look worse and worse. And now it's like they've finally gone, you know what? Maybe we should try a different approach. And it seems the one they've gone with has been extremely successful for them so far, because the official X account for Rainbow Six Siege, one of Ubisoft's flagship live service titles, posted the following to a lot of support. It's okay to take the mask off. Strength and vulnerability are not mutually exclusive. June is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. We'd like to encourage you to reach out to your friends, ask them how they're doing, pick up a game together, look out for one another. You matter. And this is so incredibly based, especially coming from a company that has a large male following. I think that this is a very simple, straight to the point, yet very effective post, and clearly it's going over well for them. I mean, it's got 5.2 million views so far, 57,000 likes, tons of comments and reposts and bookmarks. It is a very simple, yet really fantastic post. But we also have to consider that this is still Ubisoft we're talking about. I love seeing companies actually post in support of their audience, but I can see through their BS, and I know most of you can too. While it does feel good to see a company posting about Men's Mental Health Awareness Month instead of something like Pride, which really has always just been a marketing campaign for companies, I do not trust them. Next Pride, maybe they won't make up another post like this. Or what would be even worse is if they only take half of this month to post about Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, and then the other half they post about Pride. I would not put that past Ubisoft, but I think that financially they are really struggling right now, and where so many companies that have traditionally and outwardly supported Pride, like Naughty Dog, Kotaku, Discord, Entertainment Weekly, these companies have posted about Pride typically, and they are not this year. I do think that entities like Ubisoft have decided, you know what, we don't want the backlash this year, because they always face so much backlash and criticism for their decisions to do this. I mean, even look at last year's Rainbow Six Siege statement on Pride. They had said, "This Pride Month, we recognize and lift up the queer voices in our community. This week will feature LGBTQ plus community members who will share their experiences being LGBTQ plus in the Siege space." As you can see, it only had 1.5K likes to 215 reposts. And, well, this year's, for Men's Mental Health Month, it's got 57,000 likes, 8.7K reposts, 3.4K bookmarks, and 2.3K comments, and most of them are in support of this message. Ubisoft? Is that really you? Well done. Ubisoft is back, baby. At least for now. This is good. Rare Ubisoft W. Did we accidentally walk into a different timeline? Rare Ubisoft W. But I always say that it is important to give companies room to change, because if you instantly say, no, fuck this company, I won't give them another shot, after they've tried to change, why would they continue to try to change? So I do think that it is important that we say, hey, this is a really good move, but at the same time, let's not forget about all the other bullshit that they've done over the years and all of the cash grabs that they've released, all of the bad content that they've launched. So just take everything with a grain of salt. I would be really curious to see, though, if other companies also follow in their footsteps and post about Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. I haven't seen any other companies or entities post about it, but it will be interesting to see if that is the case. Now, of course, in recent years, Ubisoft and many of its subsidiaries, especially live service titles like Rainbow Six, have prominently featured Pride Month branding, themed cosmetics, social media banners, and developer statements throughout June. I mean, hell, even Disney has abandoned Pride this June, and funny enough, they're actually laying off hundreds to thousands of people, so not looking good for the activists. For instance, in 2023, Ubisoft launched the Together in Pride campaign, emphasizing solidarity and inclusion. This initiative was spearheaded by Ubi Proud and included internal events, educational resources, and community engagement activities. Additionally, Ubisoft has incorporated Pride representation within its games. A notable example is the introduction of Osa, the first biological male identifying as a female in Rainbow Six Siege, which definitely gets ridiculous. I mean, we've seen 343 slash Halo do this. Oh, they put the rainbow armor sets into their games. Of course, some games add transgender characters, and they just love to virtue signal. At the end of the day, though, companies do not care about their customers' sexualities. They do not care about your identity. They do not care about the color of your skin. They care about what color your money is, and as long as it's green, that's all that matters to them. And there are a lot of activists who are very furious at companies abandoning Pride this month and not going out of their way to create god-awful looking mugs and stupid t-shirts, because they feel that they are being ignored by these companies yet again. But it's never been financially viable for these companies to do. And you need to realize that companies don't care about you as a person. They just care that you have a credit card and you are willing to swipe it on the content they want you to consume. So yeah, at least Ubisoft is acknowledging that June is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. And I think that that's really fantastic. And I'll be keeping my eye out for other companies that follow suit and maybe post very similarly, but only time will tell. Though for now, that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.